right, so I wanted to give you a better anatomical view of the hypotheses I have. So using this model, you'll see the hands are pointed forward. We need them pointed towards us or the thumbs towards the ceiling to be more realistic. In order to do that, I'm going to turn the model sideways. In order to make it clearer, I'm going to make it so that all we're looking at is that limb. So your region of complaints, if we isolate it kind of in this area, when it's pretty bad, it goes down along the side of the thumb here, and you'll see that purple that I'm filling in there. So that is the basic representation. It does have a tendency to go up, and we'll talk about that in a second. So let's get rid of all that pen marking again. And then I'm going to get out of that. So let's look at this. I zoom in, I'm going to highlight that yellow structure. That is your radial nerve. That radial nerve dives into a muscle that's right over it. So you can see that it kind of goes right behind the backside of that muscle. That muscle is going to be your brachioradialis. If you note, that brachioradialis goes right along your path of pain. I don't, however, think that brachioradialis is the issue. I think it's the nerve underneath it. But when that muscle, when your hand is in a position with the elbow towards with the thumb towards the ceiling, it is going to stabilize the wrist and flex the elbow, which are the exercises or the movements that you don't like. So I think the nerve might be getting pinched there, but there's a little bit more we have going on. So let's get rid of that muscle. You'll see that that radial nerve, which is now purple, splits into two different paths. One is going to be a deeper muscle, of which that deeper muscle pierces through the supinator muscle, the deeper nerve goes through the supinator muscle, so that's this muscle here. Let's make that go away. Let's highlight that nerve again. So that is going to be your deep radial branch. I'll drop down the info pane. Pay attention to the very last sentence in that paragraph. The deep branch applies, which means it gives motor strength to the abductor pollicis longus, supinator, and extensors of the forearm. So the first muscle, I'm going to zoom right back out, go into this thumb, and I'm going to highlight this one little tendon here. And that is your abductor pollicis longus. Goes right past that same region of complaint that you have. Do I think it's the muscle? No, I don't. I again think something is not happy with this radial nerve. Now, I said there were two branches. Here's your other branch of the radial nerve. This is only sensory, so it picks up on the skin. You'll see as we get close to the wrist, it branches into a whole bunch of smaller versions. But that's the backside of your hand. That's where we have the numbness today when we finally flared things up. So that means that your presentation has really a motor component to it, which would be more consistent with that deep branch. However, it could just be that those muscles are irritating the main radial nerve. Therefore, it's not a true weakness, it's just a pain weakness. So it's mixed matched and superficial. Usually if we do have a problem with both, the problem is going to be with that nerve higher up, so above the elbow joint, which is where you have some of your complaints at. So it's possible that this nerve is actually getting pinched off by some of the muscles. Now, I do think it is important to note that occasionally you do get symptoms going up into the neck. So if I highlight that nerve again and I go into info, you'll see that the origins, so underneath the words, there are the paragraphs, the origin is C5 to T1. There's a lot of different nerves within the neck that is getting information from. So it's possible that you have an irritation along the whole thing. Right now, I have more evidence that says something's getting irritated with that nerve, specifically above where it gets branched, but it is possible, since we're so close to that joint that I was talking about, that both of those sensory and motor branches are getting aggravated. So I hope that helps out with giving you a little bit of an anatomy review that's specific to what I think is going on. Let me know if you have any questions.